Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video lecture, we will be discussing set theory. So, first of all, we need to know what is a set. Set is an unordered collection of definite and distinguishable objects. This definitely has three main words: unordered collection, definite, and distinguishable. What does it mean? It means that unordered collection represents that the sequence of elements in the set is does not matter. Secondly, definite. Definite means each and every element that is present in it has a definite meaning. And the third one is distinguishable. Distinguishable means all the elements in the set must not be repeated. Like no repetition is allowed in case of set. Some examples of set will be like, if we consider all the positive integers, then we can call it a set. If we consider all planets in a solar system, then that will be considered as a set of all planets. Set is generally denoted by using capital letters. It can be denoted using small letters, but generally we denote it using capital letters. Next is set membership. How what are the members? So let's say we have a set A and X is an element that is present in set A. Suppose we have X element. Then we can say X belongs to A. This is the sign for belongs. This sign means that this particular element X belongs to set A. And it can be read as X belongs to set A, X is an element of set A, X is a member of set A. If we suppose here Y does not belongs to set A, then we can say Y does not belongs to set A. This sign represent does not. Next thing that you need to learn about set is how we are going to represent a set. There are two forms through which we can represent a set. First one is roster or tabular form, and the second one is set builder notation. In the roster or tabular form, we list out all the elements that belongs to the set. And these elements are separated using comma and enclosed within curly braces. For example, let's say we have a set A of odd positive integers that are less than 10. Then we know the numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are the elements for this particular set. This is how we represent set in roster or tabular form. Next is set builder notation. In set builder notation, we describe each element by stating the property that all the elements are sharing. For example, suppose we have this particular set. Here we know that A, E, I, O, U, all these are vowels. So this is the common property for this particular set A, as all the elements are vowel. So in set builder form, we represent this set using a general element X that represent all the elements of this set, and we can say X is a vowel. So A is a set that contains all the vowels. So this is the roster form and this is the set builder form for the same set. Now in general, in universally, we have some common sets, like set of all natural number is represented using capital N, set of all integers using Z, positive integers using Z plus, rational number using Q, real number using R, and whole number using W. In any of the question, if these alphabets come, then we know which type of set or which elements the question is asking. Next topic is types of set. So first one is finite set. As the name suggests, it contains the finite number of elements. This is the main thing. As in this particular set, there are 5 elements. So this is 5 is the definite number. So this is the finite set. If the number of elements in a set is infinite, then that set is known as infinite set. Let's see an example here. It is a set builder form where x is an element in set A that belongs to natural number and x is greater than 10. Then this particular set A will contain numbers starting from 11, 12, 13 and so on till infinity. So this is an infinite set because we don't know how many numbers are there in this particular set. Third one is empty set or null set. Empty set is a set with no element. No element is present in empty set. We represent empty set using this notation or simply curly braces, and there is no element in the curly braces. For example, let's say S is a set containing elements that belongs to natural number, and the condition is that x must be greater than 7 and less than 8. As we all know, there is no natural number between the numbers 7 and 8. So this set will contain no element. So this is an empty set. Next is subset. Let's say we have two sets. Then first set will be called subset of second set if and only if every element of set A is an element of B. What does it mean? It means, let's see an example. Here set A contain 2, 4 and 6 element, and in set B all these elements are present, 2, 4 and 6. So we can say A is a subset of B. This is the sign for subset. Also, A is the subset here and B is the superset. Next thing that you need to understand is proper subset. When we can call a subset a proper subset. So if the superset contains at least one more element than the subset, then it is called proper subset. Let's see an example here. A contains 2, 4 and 6 and B also contains 2, 4, 6. But there is an extra element in set B. So we can say A is a proper subset of B. This is the sign for proper subset. When we can, for example, if we have 1, 2 element and B set have 1, 2, then we can say A is a subset of B or B is a subset of A. Both the condition is true, but we here A is not a proper subset of B because B does not contain any extra element except the elements of A. Next is power set. If S is a set, then power set will contain all the subsets, no matter if it is a proper or not. So the power set will contain all the subsets of that particular set. For example, if S is a set and it contains 2 elements, then power set will contain definitely phi, because phi is the subset of all sets. Individual elements of the set as it is also the subset of set and the set itself. So if here we see that n equals to 2 because there are 2 elements in the set, so the power set will contain 2 to the power n elements. Here if n is 2, then here 2 to the power 4, 4. We can see 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 elements are there in the power set. If the set is a null set, then power set is also a null set for that particular case. Next is universal set. Universal set is the collection of all elements in a particular context or application. For example, if S is a set that contains some of the planets, then the universal set for this particular set will contain all the planets in the universe. Next is singleton set. Singleton set, as the name suggests, if the set consists of only one element, single element, then that set is known as singleton set. Lastly, we have disjoint set. Two sets can be called disjoint sets if and only if there is no common element between the two sets. Let's see an example. Here the set A contains 1, 2 and 3 element and B contains 4, 5, 6. Here there is no common element between set A and B. So these two sets are known as disjoint sets. Next you need to know is what is the cardinality of the set. Cardinality is the number of different elements in a finite set. For example, here if we see that this particular set contains 1, 2 and 3, total 3 elements, then the cardinality of this particular set will be 3. In this case, the set B contains all the natural number, so the cardinality is 5. Cardinality can be represented using this notation or using this notation. These two notations are used to represent the cardinality. One more thing that you need to learn is if two sets have equal cardinality or same cardinality, then these two sets are equivalent sets. For example, if set A contains 1, 2 element and B contains 3, 4, here we can say cardinality of A is 2 and cardinality of B is also 2. So these two sets are equivalent sets. But these two sets are not equal sets. Equal sets are those sets that contain same elements. Here if we have A 1, 2 and B 1, 2, then these two sets are equal sets. I hope this video lecture gives you the brief introduction about the set theory. Thank you.